Jersey. That's how
So you go back to the film business.
Anyway. Just although I need to even hear Peter or there to be like, but he may not come here.
Wow, 6,000.
Oh,
It's good to see them.
okay, so again, for everyone, we're already recording. We're in. You can just, there's no problem with chit chatting.
That's we talked about, you know. Right. Yeah. Like mommy. We need to be critical.
We just need to be aware.
Yeah. Of the idiots.
I. So, yeah, it's interesting because do you guys, I'm sitting all the way back here. Do you think that's okay to run the meeting? Yeah.
It's fine.
I mean, it's gonna be fine in here.
Yes. And then that's it.
You're tripping over yourself. Yes.
Nice. Something the interviews thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so for agendas, it needs just enough people who vote in one way or the other. Or not agendas.
Sure. Well, we're not going to. Yeah, you gotta find it.
No, it's okay. I always get to make sense.
But I've not really been something. Like I don't see her around here.
There's a section that is such a coordinating how people for the house.
Like every single you, or just like
Well, I'm.
one person voted by week.
We report on the.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I didn't know I wanted to.
it was super.
Yeah. Then it's I think
I
that's
would
to like another neighborhood just attach.
In the.
That'd be nice. Yeah, yeah.
For me,
Because yeah, otherwise I'd teach you to get it from Michael anyway. Because we have to post. You're gonna see it like I'm taking my
Yeah.
little butt away and even trying to. I'll get better at practice.
yeah, or somebody just doesn't.
Oh,
That's-
that's
I remember.
Yeah.
It's like most people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's maybe
Cool.
attached.
So that way. Okay.
But I haven't. I mean, I haven't.
Could be too, just on the website where it's like, it says like agenda minutes, can we just add it there?
Oh,
So we see.
Okay, so the law.
The law would.
State legislature, when you said, so I'm saying if we attend these. Adopt as part of.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Or so you can just send it to me sometime between the governing board meeting and the executive board.
So, we have to adopt.
That'd be cool.
That's later.
Yeah. I mean, we don't try to. That's try to set that up. I'm just talking right now. You can send them to me like draft time when he's. Yeah.
But it may not be final. May not be even final. How long is
But the
you?
excessive thing, so, oh, interesting, okay. If anything, it's changing the minutes, you know, but I'll be assured, you know, so it's.
We moved in October.
Yeah.
Wow, I guess
Oh, it's
that was
quite big, but.
right after.
Yeah, I was like, minutes should be easy peasy, but I was like, really, now if it's without stuff. Again, I'm sure I'll just get better at shorthand over time, but
I'm kind of out of it. So now I could be more involved. Yeah.
I should have worked. Yeah, it was beautiful. Other questions. Yeah, warehouse, the country is around this. Yeah, I saw we sit down making 20 minutes right now. Yeah. I know, I'm going back to visit family next month, so it's like a little bit, and it's crazy, yeah, it's gonna be like the most, it's gonna be like slush, roast snow at this point, you know? That's it.
Without any over post.
So, yeah, did everybody go to the wrong place?
That's
Like, yeah. Maybe somebody's online, does anyone try to go into? I feel like everybody. Really wants. Yeah. It's like 6 people. Yeah.
Not starting. Dialogue. Don't look like this. This is more than
Gotta get back, well, it used to be the good way, the bus.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Those children. Yeah. I got to see this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Much easier.
I mean, I think, yeah, cool about this. No, I keep thinking. So very good party.
Trade around until May.
Does that work? Like, you know, it's very, I don't know if we could. Not.
I know, yeah, they sent like this one last year too, but it was different than this, it wasn't like that. It's like a hard lines. So it's. Yeah, it's the same.
Why?
Yes, they were. My spectrum.
I totally.
Yeah, like stuff. Okay, we can have all like
That's not.
There's like 20 kids here a day, they're on Wi-Fi.
Okay, do you want to go grab a bitch? I have it now.
Yeah.
You're getting it right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't follow it.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Gotta get on. It's amazing. I don't believe it. This is not amazing. The next one.
Action. And then.
Hi, everybody. Laura, I just received a text from Ally. She's coming from the west side. She asked me to let you know she's on her way.
Yes, I think she's logged in.
Okay. Maybe she's going to listen. Let's see. She just said she has a lot of traffic. She's hoping to be there by 7:06.
And if she's not, I'll call on her when she gets here.
Okay, I'll let her know. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Don't be so good.
Look, the purses you see there, I'm not. Okay, let's move the purses.
Listen, no, she's fine.
I know that.
There might be another, we'll make it happen when it's fine. Yeah. $7, please. That's where.
No.
My surgeon is coming first. Okay. Soon. Oh, wow.
Yeah, the teachers. Not just one person.
Yeah. Oh, that's all we need.
And you know this.
Just know what's called the stopper notes. Easy to stop and not open eye. I was like, because you will need your sailing.
I have that one, I have.
Oh, yeah.
They were put out on the table. So there's one sitting there,
One.
and then there were shorts.
Should.
Awesome.
And then she.
I'm not sure who DAR is, but I don't. It's important.
Probably driving on her way.
She probably is. And Kareem is here. We have Cora. Okay.
I figured I'd just catch. But I think.
Let her look in.
We were still sitting down.
Hi, Kareem.
Hi.
Official. We have quorum. I'm gonna count. Everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 11. 4, 5, 6. 12, 13. Okay, we do have quorum. Thank you, everybody, for squishing together and meeting at South Sea's house for this special meeting of United Neighborhoods Neighborhood Council's Governing Board in the middle of January. We were not able to meet. We were not able to meet on the normal first Thursday of January because that was, of course, New Year's Day. And a holiday, and we were informed by all of the venues that I'd love to meet there, even if I wanted to meet there. So I'm Laura Myers. I am president of UNC, and I'm going to call this meeting to order. And we're going to start, before I even post the agenda, to share with a roll call and board members voting status. And I'm actually going to share that. Yeah, Michael, are you able to?
Yes, you want the roll or the training?
Well, I can post the training.
Oh,
So
great. So then the roll, Candace.
here we are.
So Chris, present. Christina, Hunter, present. Laura,
Present.
Joshua.
Here.
Joe.
I'm
Paula,
here.
Joe is here. You. Paula, Edward, here. Oh, sorry. Michelle. Kamala. Excuse. I'm here, Kareem.
Here.
Michael Kimbrough. Chris.
Here.
Shalon.
Here.
Sandra. Caesar.
Here.
Rabia.
Here.
Marco. Okay. All right.
So in terms of our board member status, Ed Saunders still having issues in that he believes he has taken the funding training along with the ethics back in the summer, and it's not showing.
You look at the minutes, you can see there are several meetings I'm going to vote. I said I had to be training, took the training, and I was voting. And now we're saying I'm voting.
In a nutshell, that is what Donna is saying. And it's a really difficult problem because it's hard to argue when they're just saying everything's fine. It's like, you know, we can't tell what could have possibly gone wrong. It's like the whole system has gone wrong.
But there is a long track record of such similar failures.
Yes, there is. But speaking of Chris,
And
you
no,
have also not taken.
I'm
Well, so I was having issues with my ethics. I'm not sure what if other people are having issue with this training as well. And I messaged somebody about, because it was giving us that 6-hour long training, but that's not the one that we usually took.
And who's
Oh, this is Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We have to keep doing that, you guys.
And I received a response that we do now have to take a 6-hour. That is the one that we are.
But it is 6 hours.
It didn't take me 6 hours.
I originally had one that did say it was 6 hours, and this one only 5 minutes, 3. It may have been a speed.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it's the one for city employees or city officials. The one that says that.
Okay. So,
speaking, I had an experience, I think Laura also had an experience where if you did it too fast, leave everything, it didn't give you credit for it.
Really?
You really, so welcome to the world of everything's perfectly punished.
Yeah.
right, I did have, that was a couple of years ago, but
Yeah.
Laura speaking, it is true. I managed to complete ethics in 2 hours one time. And since it was supposed to be 2.5 or 2:20, whatever, they made me take one more college. So, but that all said, Chris, again, I know where Edward's problem is. Because he did take it.
I did try multiple times earlier, I was hoping to get to it this week, but a ton of appointments came up, and he was not able to have the block time to do it, so it is still on, it is. I will not have completed today.
So, I'm gonna say for both of you, we'll go ahead and vote, but noting that we may have to move your votes, call you ineligible, BACs. Yes. What? So, yeah, we might have to. Oh, you're here. Okay. Keep ringing, I'm really sorry, I don't know how to. Okay.
I think Cheryl is also now, but she doesn't.
No.
But it's the date is, oh no, I'm sorry, 12/5/2023. Never mind.
She's good.
Yeah.
And Caesar, did take his gender expression. I have seen the certificate, but it won't show up on the grid till tomorrow.
And then I have Sandra still needing anti-bias and gender expression.
Yes, but hang on, but she's got time.
Yeah.
I only have one up, so.
But she also has time.
Let's make sure the record's straight.
Well, it
We're just
shows
looking
up
at,
there, but it may.
yeah, we're having a problem with Dunn's for everything.
Okay.
So you saw Candace has arrived.
Mhm.
And I'm going to really start meetings like sharing the agenda.
It's much.
Okay. So we're gonna work through our agenda much more efficiently than we just did. Sorry.
I'm just. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so the people who have to have an agenda are Michael, Laura, and Hunter,
I do.
and everybody else can share.
I
No, the people who have to, because we're marking things down as.
have.
All right, so this is our agenda, I'm sharing the screen. And tonight, along with public comments and government agency reports, we have number 4, some discussion about the upcoming Leslie Shaw Park Community Event, Health Fair. It's actually a community health resources fair. And both a funding request for the event itself and funding for some ancillary marketing materials. We have a letter to discuss, potentially approved to send out regarding homeless encampment. Really a couple of encampments that are merging in Jefferson Park. Like to reactivate our Unnc Economic Development Committee, appointed as chair. Just a reminder about the homeless count, we'll get to that, but it is next week. Elizabeth will give us a presentation update about the mayor's City of Los Angeles climate implementation plan. We have potentially, if we still not running out of time, an update about traffic safety, Arlington, Jefferson, and Adams, and I'm going to guess that Caesar will update us with that. I will update everybody. Some bullet points, charter reform. I hope we can quickly, not dispense with, but approve. And then our treasurer's report, including approving our monthly expenditure reports, evidence report, I think the normal. If there's going to be an issue with anyone who needs to leave early, as we will have to ask funding requests and the approval of the monthly expenditure reports while we have quorum. Everything else still needs quorum, but those two will, we have a. Thank you. But those two, we're on tight deadlines, so we might find ourselves taking that order. So all of that said, and updates regarding SB 707 requirements. This is just generally speaking. They seem to be a little bit looser than the requirements we were under before, but I'm not sure of that. There's a discussion, the city attorney has yet to weigh in about whether or not we have to continue with this business of once we have quorum in the room, people on Zoom not allowed to vote. It seems that maybe that is going away. But we don't have the memo from the city attorney yet. So let's hope that that is correct. Other changes, you might have noticed some changes in the template that we have our agendas. They continue to change that. Okay. Are there any general public comments and announcements on items that are not on the agenda? Please raise your hand and introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Yona Long and I'm with the LA Korean Festival. I just came by just to thank you guys for your support. We had a very successful festival last year, October 16th through 19th. I know Elizabeth was there, you guys had a booth there. And I just brought dust calendars for everyone. So, and then of course your logo is on the back of our calendar. And once again, we appreciate your support and we're able to make this event free to the public thanks to you guys and your continued support. So this year it's going to be October 1st through 3rd or 1st through 4th. So I'll come back later this year and hopefully you can support us again. So that's it and thank you again.
Thank you. Are there any other general public comments and announcements? Elizabeth?
Yeah. On that, I went, I'm sorry, I'm not remembering who else showed up with that, but there were only 2 of us. And the people who were visiting the Korean Festival and the questions we got were all over the board for the neighborhood council. So we found ourselves looking up, oh, you're in this neighborhood council, you're in that neighborhood council, this is your council member. And it was wonderful, but we needed a whole, or at least a regional neighborhood council map. We needed to be able to offer them, services for them, the meeting times for their groups. We needed more information. We don't necessarily need all neighborhood council members there or everyone presented, but I would say like done to support this event. Because we could have provided so much better information. I love to say, the biggest local governance system in the United States. The most democratic local governance system in the United States.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm gonna call on you with the next thing. Let me finish. You're on the agenda.
Do you want to respond to what you?
Okay, you're not allowed to, because we don't respond to general public comments. But if there are no, Dolores has her hand up. Dolores.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to respond to the last comments that were made about the map. We do have maps and other equipment in the storage unit, if you want to check there before your events.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Just a reminder, we bought all that stuff.
Thank you. Heard. Okay, anyone else? Okay. Government agency reports. Ta-da, and if you could.
Would you like me to go there?
Or at least here. The owl. Sorry, a little bit crowded. Or maybe right there between. You need to come in. And then start talking. It should catch you.
Elisa Rivera, CD 10, Council District 10, Officer of Heather Hutt, Field Deputy for, I'm blanking, excuse me.
South of the freeway.
South of the 10 freeway, east of Crenshaw, servicing Kinney Heights, Gramercy, West Adams Avenues, Jefferson Park, and Lamar. I am here to discuss first on the agenda 311. So 311 has served a great tool with the updates. If anyone's having any issues, please reach out to me, or I can give a quick user-friendly guide on how to use the app. We've had individuals reaching out to request support with looking up service requests. I've navigated it a little bit easier. So if you guys would like either myself or a representative come out to help post a small user-friendly how-to on the app, I can do that. Please use it for any streetlight repairs, which I will speak about. Any pump runs down, any illegal dumping. They have an abundance of things on there that you can utilize if they're not getting picked up or serviced within the time frame that they're giving you. Please reach out to me so that I can look into it and get some information for you. Also, coyote kits, we still have them. Mating season is coming up. So please reach out to me and let me know if you would like any. We have whistles, horns, as well as a letter that's a guide that helps you understand what you can do to mitigate coyotes coming onto your property or wanting to be near you. We have the King Day Parade coming up on 1/19. The King Day Parade starts at 10 a.m. It will be televised. Filming starts at 11 a.m. and that will be near the stadium's bleachers. And that will be on the corner of MLK and Crenshaw Boulevard. We also have the Freedom Festival following right after the parade, and that's going to be at Lamert Village. That's with Council District 8, Council District 9, and KJLH, who will be hosting. There will be an event stage with many performers from all over LA. Those who have come to our amazing Lamert Park, as well as performers from the village as well. Barbara Morrison, the world stage. So we have a lot of people coming in and performing, as well as it will be a resource fair for jobs. So it'll be a job fair. There'll be resources from City Family, as well as expungements, which was just added on. So really cool way to help the community get to their next. And then last but not least, just want to give an update of things that we've done in the past few weeks, especially our office in these areas. So Jefferson Park, we did host Thank you to Senior Lead Officer Sean Alexander that helped me with 2 locations, 28th and Montclair, which Officer Chubb updated us yesterday on the individual that was taken, who we've had multiple issues with there. We haven't seen him come up yet, so please, if you guys notice anything, let me know. We do have a feeling of what's taking place now, so we are addressing that with superintendents from LADBS. And we are awaiting how we can work together to mitigate this and end this once and for all, as well as same with 31st Street at St. Andrews. We are also working to make sure that on ways where him and I can work together to mitigate them coming back, because it has been an ongoing issue for a very long time. As well as 31st Street, I have taken a partnership with superintendents from LADBS for not only the blight of the cars on the streets, the illegal car shop, but the abandoned property as well. So there's 3 properties within that straight stretch between St. Andrews and Western. So we're addressing those to get some support to see what next steps we'll need to take. So it's not a continuing circle. It ends.
This is Laura speaking. We have a letter about that coming up on our agenda tonight. Are you gonna be able to stay through agenda item
Yes.
5 that needs editing? You'll let us know.
Yes.
All right.
That's very quickly. Danielle is out, so it's
Yes, Danielle is out, so it'll be me for a little while. As far as her grid area, just reach out to the office. We have multiple deputies that are going to be assisting with that area. If you would like for one to come in who is managing that area, the majority, I can ask for them to join.
for those an issue.
Of course, yes, yes. I'll make sure, I'll see who's taking care of. Yeah.
Sam speaking. So at the health fair that we have on February 21st, to be able to supply us with table with maybe from CD10 and the Coyote kits. Somebody can come take this for us and pass those out.
The Coyote kits, of course. I can bring Coyote kits. I will see if we have the staff to be able to table. I know I will most likely be there if the councilwoman is there to staff her. But we have to see if we have the manpower to staff the table. And we, for equipment, we're still waiting on that, to support, but, we'll get back to you.
I have a question. You mentioned the 311 spaces for citizens to call in. Question, if the city workers were out here, your traffic, your police, your fire, your all the different city employees, when they see blight or whatever, like the stuff you want us to call 311, are they mandated, obligated, encouraged to notify anybody about that? We got a whole platoon of people who go out as city employees all over the city, and I don't understand why relying on individual citizens necessarily to report stuff that meter maids, all the others, city employees are out there all day long. See, are they? I mean, are they encouraged? Are they encouraged?
I don't
What's
know
the
that
status of that?
answer. I can get information for you. I know for myself, that's what I do,
I know
What
that's
I'm out, as well as our senior lead officers do, either send it to me or actually put it in themselves. I have some amazing senior lead officers that do help me with that, and then they notify me what they've done. So we're not doing double work, especially if it's something big, and it's a issue that should be taken care of immediately, they'll let me know. So the other part of that question, I can get more info for you, because that sounds really nice.
Probably answer that question partly. And one, particularly for unionized employees, if it's outside of their job, specific job duties, they don't do it. And there's rules and regulations around that. Number two, also for not just, maybe not for salaried employees, but for hourly employees.
any duties like that would be off the beaten path are generally done outside of their working hours, which is also just fun. Especially because they would have to put in for that time as if it were work time. And a lot of city employees are not able to log overtime.
I have some hands in the Zoom audience, Dolores and then Show King.
Thank you, Laura. This question goes back to Alyssa. Could she repeat the information she gave regarding the expungement of criminal records? What did she say? I didn't catch that.
Oh, there will be a team of people at the Lamert Village Freedom Festival, the MLK Day Freedom Festival, that will be offering expungements.
When is that and where?
That's on the 19th, on Monday, MLK Day Freedom Fest in Lamert Village. That event goes from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I failed to say there will be 36 employers there offering jobs.
Thank you.
Albert, Alvin. You have to unmute.
Yes, thank you. Ally has already spoken about some of the issues on 31st Street. Unfortunately, the St. Andrews within 2 days is back up again. And right now I'm looking outside my door and there's a boat parked in front of the house. If there's not a boat, there are cars without license plates. I called parking enforcement. And today, for example, one of my neighbors spoke to the parking enforcement person who did not give a ticket to one person, but gave it to the car parked behind. There are cars without license plates, unregistered on the street. I'm not sure why they haven't been picked up. Ally spoke about the abandoned house. And this morning there were 2 men who walked out of that house. I don't approach them. It's not a very safe area. And there has been progress. I think that I'm very impressed with Councilmember Hutt and her staff because they've been very responsive. But I don't know why. Well, the last thing that I have to mention, we have been without lights for 3 months. I do public transportation. At 86 years old, I'm not that comfortable coming off from Jefferson in Western and walking home when there are no lights on the street. So, and I've been active, so it's not just complaining. I have contacted the council office on many, many occasions. I have connected with neighbors. I walk, so I know my neighbors on both sides of the street. And so whatever the council can do, I know one of our representatives, Suki, has addressed the council too. But I just wanted to make a special appeal. I love my neighborhood. I love the neighbors. It's a good neighborhood. I've been here 25 years now and just want to do what I can do to improve the quality. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Just please send me all of their street light service requests. I actually looked at the map recently and I took all the oldest requests from this area because I hadn't received any service request numbers. So I was unaware that the lights had been out since end of December. It just depends on what time I get home. If I don't see them or I'm out after 5 p.m., I won't know. So please put the service request in through the app as soon as you can and forward it over to me so I can place it on our priority list.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Alan?
I thought for an answer, Chris Carlson speaking, about what are the city rules in response to unlicensed vehicles or boats or trailers that are just parked on the street without any plates.
Currently, I'm sorry.
It's a common phenomenon in our area.
Elisa Rivera, currently, the same rules for a car apply to a boat on a trailer. 72-hour rules. So they're not gonna come and ticket them right away. They'll mark the tires. And then come out in 72 hours or 72 hours from that. If the car is still in the same place, unmoved, tires still marked, they will ticket.
But if they haven't got plates, are they even supposed to be on a state street?
As far as plates, they generally will look at VIN or any other numbers. So it's I want to be very clear because this happened to me when reporting abandoned vehicles for a community, or abandoned vehicles that have been sitting with no license plate or registration stickers. All the cars were registered with the VIN number that was given. So if a police officer attempts to go up, they can ticket for no license plate. But because the car is registered, the car just has to move within those 72 hours.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Hi,
Any other-
Joe King.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Good evening. I did want to piggyback regarding the lights. When you leave that location tonight, you can go down either 2nd Ave, 5th Ave, Adams. All of that is 1 block south of where you're located at the moment, and you can see the lights will be off yourself. That's just a side note. And then secondly, I wanted to inquire regarding the job fair you said in the village of Leimert Park. You said there will be 36 employers. Is it like a job fair or is it just
It is.
tents or
There is gonna be a job fair happening at the festival that day.
Okay, awesome. So will it be like, is it in a concentrated area or it'll be obvious for constituents and community members to see the jobs that are offered and stuff?
Yes, there will be tents available. It'll all have its own area within the footprint of the plot plan. And the main reason for this event is for resources for the community. And the majority of them are going to be city family for constituents to get information, as well as for those to get resources for jobs, expungements, etc.
Awesome. Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Thank you. Okay, seems like we can move on. Thank you, but don't leave, because we're gonna come back to the encampments, yes, please. Because we have some, item 4. Item 4 is the 10th anniversary of the rebirth, I guess we'll say, of the Leslie Shaw Park, a community health and resources fair that Sandra is organizing, will be held on Saturday, February 21 from 11 to 4. Correctly. So Sandra has brought to us a request for money that executive committee has forwarded to our recommendation that we spend $2,500 direct event support. Then we separately have a second item, which Caesar will explain, where we want to spend other things related to some more specific outcomes. So Sandra first, and then Caesar's separate. You want to present?
Sandra Pruitt from Jefferson Park. When we started this, I really initiated this by calling down to talk to the secretary of the superintendent, but it was a labor of love for all the community to come together. And our park was a well needed renovation at the time.
10 years ago.
Yes. So to bring the businesses together, as well as Girl Scouts in the neighborhood were very instrumental in getting the pedestrian crossing signal that we needed to go from the Jefferson Boulevard side of the street to 3rd, across the street back and forth for our families to be able to be safe. So what we did, we met with the superintendent, we had meetings for like 3 years to get this project off the ground. Leslie Shaw and his wife, Ann Shaw, are very instrumental in civic duties around here. Leslie Shaw was the first postmaster appointed by President Kennedy. And so it's 10 years later, and we just really want to highlight him and the work that we did as a community to come together to have a beautiful, it was $1 million at the time. Herb Weston was our council member, and everything, like I said, we all just came together. And so on February 21st, Saturday from 11 until 4, we'll be in the park celebrating and honoring our community. Teamwork makes the dream work.
So since it's a health and resources fair, do you know who some of the vendors are?
So we're gonna have LA sanitation out there. Can't think of anybody.
That's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have some yoga instructor, fitness training, kids activities, and participants.
Oh, okay. And you had asked, this is Laura speaking, you had asked me if vendors could sell food. So I have a yes and no answer. So if this went from the city clerk, if UNNC is the primary sponsor, then no, they cannot sell food in the fair itself. This is not a reference to track street, but in the park itself. If we're a sponsor, CD10, if we're not a sponsor, then it's up to the park. This is what city clerk says. The clerk if the park allows money to change hands. So, but if we are the primary sponsor, then money cannot change hands inside the system.
So Wrexham Parks is gonna be out there and then also sponsoring. So then.
Right, so we'll need to revise for the event form return. Show other sponsors, etc.
So they would have to be
What
monetarily sponsoring, is that what you mean?
Yes. Well, they're recreation parks is sponsoring in kind.
Right.
They're waiving fees.
Right.
So
That's a technicality.
If
Like
you
that
can-
could work.
If you can represent the equivalent fees that
Yeah.
were waived, so you can show them monetary contribution. And get out those.
and CD10 is arranging for
If it's the park and CD Parks is in on the collaboration, why would they say no? Hopefully,
so
that sounds like a good idea.
so what we're gonna need, first of all, we're gonna have to vote to say twice. Candace is gonna address the money. But the column that says, and you can see it up there. The column that says total projected cost, we need to add in totals, show that somebody else.
So I put CD10 in there for the rental, but the price doesn't change.
Not for us, but
But where would I put it? In the
see
next
where
line?
it says total projected cost?
Oh, yeah,
So we'll just add a few lines,
okay,
but put them in different columns.
okay.
So I mean, this is assuming that we approve $2,500. We stay in our UC column.
Okay.
And then the other column would be other costs.
Yeah.
Right, see, because we need to fill out and submit an event request form with a clerk, so it's got a lot more questions.
But will there be a dollar sign involved for CD10 and Wrexham Park?
Yeah, just as. Well,
Well,
CD10 and then Wrexham Park fees, you can put waived. I mean, we'll figure it out, but I'm just explaining, it's the overall, we have to do the budget has to reflect the overall cost, not just what we're contributing. And if you also have any vendors, if anybody else is. We'll talk about that after, so. We're not gonna be bombing. A folks. But. Okay, now, I'm sorry about our money. Right.
Okay, so,
This is
This
Candace
is-
speaking.
hi, this is Candace being the treasurer here. Okay, so this is an outreach request because we'll be sponsoring money to get okay, we're being asked to help sponsor the event, which is slightly different from an MPG. So in the outreach category, we have allocated after shifting money around from to rollover. We had a total of $8,051.50. So far, we have spent $3,445.84 of that. That's the tree event, supporting the Congress of Neighborhoods and the Friends of Jefferson Library event that was in July or August. So we have approximately $4,605.66 left, minus $500 for the homeless count this next week. So we are at $4,105. So we have about $4,000 left in outreach.
Right.
And this was in June? Or,
Well,
okay,
July,
July,
but June is.
when we decided.
So my
And we can
advice,
also move money around.
we can move money around. So just as a preview, MPGs has about $80,000 left. So if this year, usually it's swap, like we do
Yeah.
more MPGs and outreach, but this year we have a lot of outreach and less MPGs. So if we need to move money from MPGs to outreach, because that seems to be where we're flowing this year, then that's perfectly fine. So my suggestion is to just sprint money, because at the end of the year, we're always trying to scramble and spend. So we might as well spend and support the community. That's my suggestion. Is that a discussion?
Well, that was also executive.
Oh, and executive also.
So we can put that motion on the table. To support the Leslie Shaw Park 10th anniversary community health and resources fair event for $2,500 for general outreach and promotional expenses, kids activities, and DJ rentals, which our friend at AI just reported, I hope. And that motion's Candace. Is there a second from someone not on executive committee? Elizabeth Fenner seconds. Is there any further discussion?
Still a question.
Sure.
But on the park itself, I know we had several different outreaches, events over there on IT. And I was just curious, if you know the park. What's the activity when there's no events? How is it serving the area when there's no event going on? Is it well?
So Leslie Shaw Park, it's a pocket park, the nannies come through in the morning, our park is all, it's all children people. And it's complemented by the library, which they have preschool readings and stuff inside. So that's a very active, it's not in.
Yeah, I just didn't know.
And what we think.
Well, no people sleep in it, hanging out.
Oh, look, Elizabeth's getting. Okay, are there any other questions? And Caesar, I don't know if you heard what Ed was asking. He wanted to know how activated the park is. Don't you take your kid over there?
Yeah, we were there this afternoon. We went to the park and then we went to the library. And we had a friend with us, and he was very busy the day. Like once we left the library, we passed through the park, and there was a lot of kids still playing.
Okay, so let's take a vote. All in favor of spending $2,500 to support this event as it was described. Oh,
We just raise it again?
no, it's a BAC. Yeah.
You are.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, don't raise your hand. We're having a roll call.
Candace,
Yes.
Sakura,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Laura.
Yes.
Abstain.
Farrell?
Did you say show?
Okay.
Show is a yes.
Okay, Edward,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
I'm a yes, Green,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Siobhan,
Yes.
Sandra,
Yes.
Caesar,
Yes.
Rabia,
Yes.
16.
And on the front end, can I ask for volunteers there or?
Sure, if you want. I mean,
For the meeting, so the other issue.
but
I'm kidding.
that's okay. Yes.
Okay, so I really need some help with this, you know, it's coming up soon. I have been doing a lot of work, but I could use some help for volunteers. So anybody in the room, I brought a nice little sign-in sheet if you want to join up. If you're on the Zoom, then can you just maybe text me your information? We're having a meeting this Saturday, Zoom meeting at 1:30. So please help me out,
Put
okay?
it in the chat if you're on.
Oh,
Put it in the chat.
Volunteer.
Well,
Okay.
right, and so to reiterate, outreach committee is meeting this Saturday, January 17th, Zoom only at 1:30 in the afternoon. And I will send to everybody on board. And we already sent out the MailChimp. So if you get our MailChimp emails, you already have the Zoom link, but I'll send everybody on the board the Zoom link for that. And an hour?
Yes.
No more than an hour.
No.
Saturday afternoon. Okay.
Thank you, appreciate you guys.
Okay, the next half of this, UNC is gonna have 2 tables at this event. One is gonna be our normal UNC promote us, well, merch, promote us, promote our committees, just what we normally do at an event. And then we're gonna have a second table that Caesar is gonna person. And he's gonna need volunteers, and Caesar's gonna tell us in about 1 minute's time what you're doing. And then we need some money to help support that effort as well. So go
Sure.
see.
Thank you. Hi. So the Park and Recs is leading the way on try to make our neighborhoods a lot greener. So we're trying to have a big map for neighborhood greening identification. So it's going to be big enough so you can see the parcels in all the neighborhoods. So you can be like, this is an abandoned lot. Someone will come in like with a whiteboard marker, will like identify it and be like, abandoned lot. Maybe this can become a community garden, or it can become a pocket park, or whatever they think they want to do in that particular area of their neighborhood. We're also trying to see if the feasibility for a park proposed by CD10. So we're trying to also get community input on what they would like to see in a pocket park. So we'll have stickers and like a piece of paper so they can just like make their own park however they see would be fit for their situation. So we're asking for $500 for the materials. We already got it, it would be a 4x4 map, 4 feet by 4 feet. We already got a quote from Print Depot for $104 for one map, but I think we still got some design problems, so that's why we're asking for 500 plus whatever might come up on. I think we ended up deciding getting 2 maps, and that's about it. And yeah.
So this would also be outreach money, and we might not need to spend all of it. But and it too, well, it's an up to, but also if the materials we're creating might be able to go to other events. It's not always one time.
So it's two maps, is that what it is?
Same one. We want to print two because we read about
I see.
having to do the setup fees all over again. It
Yeah.
makes sense when printing, it's only.
But so there's more.
The maps are erasable, so you can like reuse the maps in the future.
Yeah.
It'll be like laminated pretty thickly.
And we might spend less.
Yeah,
Well, we
I'm
might-
expecting about
Oh,
$300, but we'll see.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve $500, up to $500 for the next routine plan as described by Caesar. Given.
Is there a second?
I second.
Who was that?
Green.
Corinne. Chris Carlson moves, Corinne seconds.
From out, Jeff.
Yeah, out from using outreach funds up to $500.
Candace,
Yes.
Sigrid,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Hunter, yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Joshua,
Abstain.
Show,
Abstain.
Edward,
Yes.
Shell,
Yes.
Stream,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Siobhan,
Yes.
Sandra,
Yes.
Caesar,
Yes.
Fabia,
Yes. So the next item is. The next item is a proposed letter, it's trying to find. Regarding the encampments that we've already heard a little bit of discussion about. And I've posted this up on the screen. It's gonna be a little hard for us to read in the room. Let's see if I can make it. Okay, are we gonna be able to read that, or do I need, that's the wrong thing?
yes.
I can't. Okay, I'll just do it really quickly. The UNC representing historic Arlington Heights, West Adams, and Jefferson communities routinely comments on issues within its boundaries. On behalf of UNC, we are writing to formally request that the City of Los Angeles assistance in addressing ongoing and escalating concerns raised by residents regarding encampment-related activity, public safety risks, and infrastructure issues around the intersection of St. Andrews Place and Jefferson Boulevard, as well as West 31st Street corridor, extending to Western Avenue, all of which is part of the Jefferson. Most notably, the St. Andrews Place encampment on the sidewalk has become a daily gathering site where large amounts of debris and potentially hazardous materials are stored and discarded. These conditions have steadily worsened over time. The residents in the area are aware that the CD10 council office has coordinated cleanup at this location several years ago to edit that and recently. However, the activity resumed shortly thereafter and has since expanded significantly. Residents have stated that materials now expand into the public right of way, partially obstructing traffic and occupying street parking. Residents are no longer able to safely walk along the west side of St. Andrews due to the accumulation of personal property associated with the encampment, including grills, cooking utensils, shelving, and other items that fully occupy the site. Food waste left on site has raised concerns about vermin, including rats, potentially spreading into nearby homes. Reports also indicate the presence of two unleashed dogs, which pose a risk to passersby and exposes the city to potential liability. Residents have expressed extreme concerns about conditions presenting serious public health and safety concerns, including fire risk, sanitation issues, pedestrian accessibility, and visibility. Of particular concern is the proximity of this site to an auto repair business, that utilizes oil, fuel, and other flammable chemicals. The routine use of open flame cooking equipment within the encampment raises the risk of fire that could endanger nearby residences and businesses. This situation is further exacerbated by speedy zone tires itself, which appears to be regularly parking its vehicles over the curb and on the sidewalks, further obstructing the right way. In addition, residents have also observed ongoing illegal auto repair activity occurring in the right of way, including vehicle repairs performed on the street, double parked cars, trailers, on the sidewalk and on the premises of abandoned property located at 2081 West 31st Street. These activities had led to several witnessed explosions and fires. Want me to read the whole thing, guys? Or do we have the gist of the problem? Okay, we've got the gist of it. This is Laura still speaking. I'm very concerned that all of this is also surrounding vacant lots, because we have had so many properties, such properties. And I mean, repeated burn downs, both here in this UNC community, nearby at the corner, well, on 24th Street, one parcel east of Vermont. And speaking of that, building and safety refused to even take action until somebody it's a bird. We all read probably a motel that's pending historic cultural monument status further down. And this has to get, so I thank the community for drafting this letter. It's brought to us by residents. They don't want to cite it themselves because they're living in fear on 31st Street. Yeah, with some edits I'd like it to be adopted. But Allie, do you have any edits? We need, you know, who should we be sending this to along with you?
Well, as far as edits, and this is my time here, we have been to this location more than once, at least with myself 3 times. Without me, and it has been scheduled as a Care Plus multiple times. I'm working with Senior Lead Officer Alexander as he's grasping his new area and understanding the ins and outs, and we've identified multiple people on St. Andrews who stay there, but also others who come and go and do not stay there, including the animals and individuals who are actually members of the community, which we were approached by multiple times while we were there this last time. I am understanding that, and so is Senior Lead Officer Alexander, that the community members are also those who neighbor the community, who live in homes, are also supporting them there. So just wanted to make that clear. That's what we identified this last time that we were there. So this has become a half and half kind of situation, but the majority of the community would like us to continue to support the efforts of clearing them, as it is a sensitive use area under the LA Municipal Code 4118. There is a school nearby and it is affecting the neighborhood and the neighbors who live there. It is inaccessible, and I understand that there may be extra steps that we can take along with our LAPD that I need to identify with Senior Lead Officer Alexander that can be enforced. So this is one thing that we are discussing that can be said and done in order to mitigate this situation from reoccurring, as well as the properties on 31st Street. I understand there's only one property that's listed on this list, but to my understanding, there are 3 properties that are continued issues on the street, which that was just shed to light after I asked multiple questions this past December. So until that was said to me, this is when I started the investigations for the community because of the input. So as it is a long standing after the investigation, with Department of Building and Safety, you're correct, an inspector cannot put in a order to comply without somebody from the community coming and putting something, or anonymously calling Department of Building and Safety to report these homes. You can anonymously call. So with that, a building and safety gentleman did let me know that numerous times there have been properties in these areas that he's been told about, and he has let individuals know it needs to be reported, otherwise I cannot enforce.
We have a rep in that area, a represents that area. You gotta report it to us. Josh, you gotta report it.
But they're a little bit worried about their names getting caught up.
That's true, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah. Okay, so my sense is that, you know, this has been going on for years and years, before my time as well. I think what the neighbors are looking for is some sort of concerted effort, right? Because everybody sort of feels siloed. They're putting in reports, but they're not seeing results. So with that being said, I think this is why the letter came to existence, is to formalize some sort of unison, you know, a concerted effort to say, hey, this needs, that's the goal here. We appreciate, the neighbors appreciate everything that's been done, of course. But, you know, it's sort of like a desperate cry for help at this point, right? Because it's like report, we're reporting until their hands, you know, are getting sore. So at what, I guess the question is, how can the council help? You know.
Thank you for the
question.
So on the agenda, it says homeless encampment, but you mentioned 3 properties. So are these 3 people living in houses that are just being routed, or?
So there is an owner who owns 2 properties that has been a nuisance property performing illegal car work.
I see.
On the street and on the property with numerous inoperable or junk cars on the property, as well as around in the surrounding neighborhood, as well as on an abandoned property, or at least parts of cars on an abandoned property nearby.
And that's not the speedy wheel service.
No.
This is just. Okay.
That's a separate issue that I'm also
But
addressing.
separate from that, my understanding, Laura speaking, Dolores has her hand. I've seen photos, there's a huge homeless encampment on St. Andrews, so.
Like near the corner of like Jefferson.
Jefferson and 31st on the west side. And people, I think, are going from this one to that one to this one to that, you know, I'm not sure. Yeah.
What has been said and what has been seen is individuals potentially, at least what I've been told, is individuals are potentially going from the encampment to the empty home. They haven't been identified yet, and
No.
Okay.
No.
And Dolores has her hand up, so I'll let you jump in let Dolores jump in.
The encampment on St. Andrews and Jefferson is a separate humongous issue from the 31st Street Shade Tree Mechanics issue. The encampment people are not going into that abandoned house because the Shade Tree Mechanics are using that house to store their tools, their whatever, and they're in and out of that. If you remember the sitcom, Sanford and Son, where 31st Street, half of 31st Street is a junk yard of these vehicles that they are working on. They even have these tow things where you tow vehicles, where they have partially stripped down cars on these tow things. They got a big boat in front of our neighbor's house, Al's house. They got the 2 houses that are on the south side of the street have vehicle parts in both of the yards, and then across the street they have vehicle parts in the yard and piled up in the driveway. And then the cars that they're working on, their clients come on our street and they double and triple park in the street. And all of this is taking up all of the parking spaces and obstructing our way to get up and down the street. I have to go through the alley and go on the next street to go about my business because the end of that street down at 31st and St. Andrews is blocked with all of these vehicle parts. And you talk about report. We've been doing this for years. We have met with the police in the backyard of one of our neighbors. We have taken pictures. We have a telephone tree where somebody will say, make the call, and all the neighbors will make the call to court enforcement. And they come out, they ticket, they tow a few cars, and then they let it go, and then it all comes back again. We want this letter to go to whom the powers that be in the city to say, we need their assistance, we need their protection because we're being intimidated by this group of folks that's doing all this stuff on our street. We pay our taxes just like everybody else. We want our quality of life and our living to be like everybody else. But that sidewalk on St. Andrews taken over by the encampment, and the people, the shade tree mechanics have taken up their street. We're held hostage in our own neighborhood, and something needs to be done, and it needs to be done now. We're tired of sending in pictures. We're tired of making phone calls. We're tired of meeting. We want something done to clean this area up so we will have a comfortable quality of life on 31st Street in St. Andrews. I'm sorry, but I'm just so frustrated, and so is my neighbors.
Dolores, that's okay. I know I have a hand in here and a hand on Zoom, but let me ask you, do you support the letter that was written?
100%.
Okay, Albert, do you support the letter as written?
Definitely, and I would be willing to talk to my neighbors, other neighbors, because I have, I think, 10 to 12 people on my distribution list. One of the things that we haven't mentioned is the safety issue. About 4 months ago, I was sleeping and I heard an explosion. So I look out my back door out of the service area, and in the back of the house next door to me, a car had blown up, flames coming over. Naturally, I called the police. About maybe a month ago, outside on 31st Street in front of my house, another car exploded. You know, our houses are wooden frame houses. Now it has become frightening. I mean, and with the folks, the so-called street mechanics, I mean, I sit out on my porch and I look at a car that has the engine taken out. The engine is on the lawn and there's the empty frame. And then I see these two guys walk out of the house. I am not going to approach them. By the way, if you check the police records, I cannot remember, it's within the past 4 6 months that one of the men who had been in there was arrested. He happened to have come out of the house. The police had done, I guess, a drive-through. They stopped him, arrested him because he had a stolen car, not because he was in the house. You know, and again, the homeowner is totally irresponsible. You know, we've talked to her and she's still.
All right, so I'm gonna cut you off if you weren't done. So sorry. And Chris, I know you had your hand up, but this is what I want to know. Is there anybody here who doesn't want to adopt this letter? Besides that.
Well, I just want to make one final, because I don't think I got into what. This is Elisa. So I apologize. My intention was not to say otherwise, that I understand everything that you guys have let me know. And in the letter, which is why I have taken action since finding out these things and have escalated them since. So currently at the moment, I've reached out to the superintendents of LEDDS, not the inspector, not their supervisor, the superintendents, to understand what has been taking place at least these past couple years. Send me the reports, as well as if needed, and most likely, we'll need to partner with the city attorney. So this is already being made aware in these offices, as well as the crime reports in order to take the next step. So this does not circle around.
All right, so question, this Chris Carlson, question is, has the city started formal nuisance abatement on any of these three properties?
So the request is for support for nuisance abatement.
Okay. Second question, anyone in the neighborhood could take a lawsuit on the sidewalk and walking through the American Disabilities Act, and they should sue them. The same issue came out in UCLA where people were just parking cars, people were having to go out in the street to not have access to sidewalks. And that can be a very effective avenue to get.
I don't feel comfortable with that.
So-
I don't want to do that.
So, yeah, so here's what I would like to suggest. I want to adopt this letter.
Yes.
I would like to suggest that we have executive committee approve a final version, that we add some language in it, that we support the efforts that CD10 has been making. But we would like to escalate our request so that it would support any nuisance abatement and you know, something, I mean, we'll need to edit, but that we're gonna thank the city council office for the work it's been doing.
Yeah.
And we'll just approve the final letter exactly, but approve this letter in concept with those suggested amendments.
Make a motion?
I can't make a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the letter with the suggested evidence and keep tracking on this issue to get resolution through the city's legal abatement process.
I say.
Okay, so Chris, Sandra seconds.
People get a phone call.
We don't want this letter to be put off and delayed because some movement has happened. We want this.
Executive meets on Tuesday. We're
Pardon
gonna
me?
have executive meets on Tuesday. Will be approved on Tuesday.
Okay, even though the residents' complaints have gone in, we just want something in writing to the powers that be to let them know of our frustration with this situation.
Yes, I just don't want to sit here and edit the letter tonight.
And have we determined who the letter's gonna go to?
Oh, hell, why not the mayor and everybody from there on down?
Yes.
Seriously. It's an issue.
Yeah, not a problem.
Looking at the number of issues, it certainly sees mayors, LED, PD, Department of Safety, Street Services, DOT, Department of Sanitation,
Et cetera.
others.
Right.
The city attorney.
Guys, can we do our BAC? Thank you.
I don't want to interrupt, but I would hope that we would receive a copy of the letter when it was sent. And I
Our
would
letters
also
be posted
I would
on
also
the website.
appreciate a Spanish version. I would like to ask for a Spanish version of the letter also.
That will not happen by Tuesday, but I heard it's heard and we'll try and do that, but it won't happen. We want this to go fast. It's not gonna happen.
It's just that we try to be, we want to be an inclusive, we want to be an
Vote is
inclusive
in process.
neighborhood.
All
You
right.
calling for the vote?
Yes, Candace, you were a yes?
Yes.
All right, Hunter? Yes. Elizabeth?
Yes.
Hunter?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Joshua?
Abstain.
Show?
Yes, please.
All right, that's a good yes. Edward?
Yes.
Michelle?
No vote, abstain.
Okay, all right. I'm a yes. Kareem?
Yes.
Michael?
He's gone.
Chris,
Yes.
Siobhan,
Yes.
Sandra,
Yes.
Caesar,
Yes.
oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, what are we up to?
Okay, we're gonna do these next two really fast. Number 6.
Did it pass?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for supporting the residents in Region 6. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Item 6, reactivate the United Neighborhood Council Economic Development Committee and appoint a new chair, Bea. Huh, do you agree?
Yes.
Discussion, please.
Really?
Yeah, I just would like to know, what is the mission of the economic development?
Well, they won't really know until they have their first meeting, will they?
And will they have?
So they made it together, but she's gonna love us, right?
We're gonna have to call a meeting. We can't do a meeting without a chair.
Who's the chair?
We're bad.
And
And
have
she wants-
you got any kind of an outline as to your focus or your goals that you want
Not
this
yet, we're
committee to focus?
going to get some interested parties together and discuss and come up with the mission. And, you know, see what. they want.
Right.
Right.
I mean, in other words, there's a general mission statement on the website, but it's only half a sentence.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking something to do.
But that's the start.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay, unfortunately, I forgot to mention under SB 707, we actually have to do a BAC.
Great, I have two.
Single action.
No more raising hands. I see.
Except for to approve minutes that maybe not even that.
We need to go on this one?
Are we good? Well, we need a motion in a second. I make this motion, I'm not supposed to. Move to reactivate the Unnc Economic Development Committee and appoint as its chair, Rebecca.
I'll second.
Thank you. Siobhan second.
Candace,
Yes.
so Chris,
Yes.
Elizabeth, Hunter.
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Joshua,
Abstain.
Joe,
Yes.
Edward,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
I'm a yes, Corinne,
Yes.
Michael. Oh, that's. Chris,
Yes.
Siobhan,
Yes.
Sandra,
Yes.
Caesar,
Yes.
Bea.
Yes.
We should have answered first.
Thank you.
Next Thursday.
Question, it's crossing to a question for Rebecca. Do you have a time and a place at the meeting that it's going to meet on a regular, do you know the dates and?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
We need to work it into the calendar
Calendar.
for Chelsea's house.
Yeah.
But the first meeting will be in person at Chelsea's. Okay. And Zoom. And so we, we'll figure out sometime in February.
Yes.
We're having a meeting. Almost count, a week from today, it's right around the corner. Our location is Holman Church. I would really encourage as many of you as possible, if you are willing to do this work, to sign up to be a volunteer on the Homeless Camp. They teach you how to do it. We gather at Holman Church. To do the sign up, it's on the agenda, but you go, I'm not even gonna read it out loud, but you go to the website under volunteer registration and then select Adams 90018 and our site will show up. They're gonna say they only want 22 volunteers. Tori needs 100 volunteers to cover the grids. So just sign, please, and you can just show up as well. And that's a week from today. What's the time?
I went last year. I think I showed up around 6 and they needed more people. I had the time, so I took on more sections than most people did. So I wrapped up around midnight. So hopefully with the more people, we get more people to show up, and that way we can spread the work around. What we basically do is a grid search. So if they give you a buddy and you do lazy donuts, and one person navigates and the other one's got a count and is marking down. So if anybody can show up, would love to have a few more folks this year. I think I was the only one. At
No,
least the day I
Corinne, I
did.
think Corinne.
Last year was weird too with the fires, they kept getting delayed, so hopefully more people will
That's-
sign up this year.
That's right.
That's right. That's it. In February.
Yeah. But I'm planning on doing it again this year, so and it probably won't be 6 to midnight if
Yeah.
or if you need more takers, it'll probably be like 2 hours.
So we gather around 6, but it's a gathering at that time. So there's speeches and there's stuff going on. And they take off around 8. They
And we're
feed you. Well,
Yeah.
we feed you.
Yeah.
We buy
the food.
We buy the food. Okay. Elizabeth.
All right.
Okay, so I can share screen with you. What do you want me to do?
So there's a
And now it's
slideshow, and I'm Elizabeth. And I've gone through the slideshow, and first of all, there's a lot of repetition. Second, it kind of puts you to sleep, as some slideshows.
You're talking about
PowerPoint that I got
for the.
so.
I'm sorry,
Last
the
Sunday-
item is
Yeah.
City of Los Angeles climate implementation plan.
So last Sunday, I went to the NCSA meeting, the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance. 50 people there. And we knew from the emails that Steve Ball, Mayor's Office of Energy and Sustainability was going to present to us the mayor's climate implementation. So that's what we got. It's a big deal. It's very old. Okay, they are trying to do it quickly because of the World Cup, because of the Olympics coming up, and not least the climate crisis. This year over year, this last year has been the greatest increase in temperature on record. We are over 50% now of our CO2 emissions concentration in the atmosphere, 50% above pre-industrial times. And we all know it's 80 degrees today.
Yeah.
And since 1877, the average in January. Okay, hi guys. The average was, I believe I have it down as 68 degrees. Was the high. Yeah, in January. So we all feel it. We all know. It's very strange. So they're acting in many areas. They have sort of deputized, or she has deputized a cabinet of about 15 people, with mostly from, it seems like all from the city. One is Nancy Sutley, Deputy Mayor of Energy and Sustainability, Marta Segura, Director of Climate Emergency Mobilization Office and LA's first Chief Heat Officer, Janice Quinones of LAPWP, the CEO and Chief Engineer, Rachel Brashear, Deputy Chief of Staff for City Services. Those are the top bananas, I think. And then they are asking departments to submit drafts. 44 departments in LA, you can actually see. I'll get to that back in a second. So they're acting in many different ways, trying to cut pollution, phase out oil and gas sites, boost the economy, increase jobs, increase green spaces, do things like stormwater runoff. I mean, that's the beginning. It's just 10% of all the things that they're covering here. They also, of course, want to act justly, with equity, want to act transparently, and with accountability. So let me just address some of the problems. One is that you can see how overwhelming it is, right? It's like the Green New Deal. They're trying to improve on the Green New Deal, but you can see all the things that they're trying to do. Second problem, I would say, is that all the main actors that people thinking about these programs, and how to implement them are all city workers. And just like how Ed said, can we do this? And you said, yeah, they, you know, I work for the city. I remember I worked downtown and I watered a plant once that was dying on the patio. Got in trouble because that was union. That was union. I stepped on somebody's toes because I watered a plant that hadn't been watered. So they're always forced. So there's a problem, I think, with it being heavy on city workers, city influence, city rules, regulations, right? Third thing is that the departments are going to put together programs, right? That they're going to roll out to us that we need to adopt. We need to, we've all done this before, right? Where we get free or very reduced appliances, especially if they're old appliances, if we fill out the right forms and get them. We get free showers, light bulbs, aerators, toilets, exactly. So we have to be engaged. So they have to just make notifications. And that's, I would say, not covered as well. My alliance, the Sustainability Alliance, are not very unified, I'd say. Lisa Hart is absolutely wonderful as a leader, but she doesn't unify. So our questions to the guy afterwards, was the general questions really had a lot to do with biodiversity, green space, trees, which is great, but it's actually such a small part of the whole issue of climate. So, and every single thing is tough, just like the homeless encampment, Sandrin's, right? Which I love that joke. It's because, for example, getting rid of Inglewood oil fields. Inglewood oil fields, ours, Inglewood oil fields, the biggest urban oil fields in the world. In an urban setting, they support 14,000 jobs. They are 1,000 acres. They are tens of millions of income for an annual royalty revenue for local. So I don't know what we do with equity when normal people in Los Angeles own a stake in these oil fields and get income from them. It brings in 2.9 billion in economic output, and the taxes we get, according to AI, is 620 million.
Can't possibly do that much because we have our mineral rights. So not all the houses in this area and Unnc do. A lot of them gave them up, but we're one of the few that has those mineral rights. I think we got a check for $114 last year. I'll have to check with that's right, but yeah, it wasn't much.
But I guess the problem is that I gotta.
Well, I was gonna say the problem is that they have this master plan with a timeline of talking to stakeholders this month and next, and adoption and a final draft of the plan in March. And then adoption before the soccer. So
is there a state requirement for that deadline sets?
no, this is it does seem like we're hearing June a lot these days.
And I get that she wants to move fast. I get that she wants Los Angeles to be, the mayor wants Los Angeles to be a model of climate friendly and green, in a beautiful shining city. And I know those
stops. Okay. Bring all of the pollution.
Well, what's that fact? Here's my question. And Elizabeth, because I actually sat through most of that meeting. I mean, I lurked through the meeting. Elizabeth was engaged in the meeting. Teresa was at it as well. And we both, I think, sat quietly. It was hugely attended. Yeah. And very smart people were asking very pointed and smart questions. And what it told me was, because I'm not that smart on this topic, not that informed, is that this cannot be a plan that's gonna be great if they're just getting input now. And they were talking about what was missing. A lot of people were saying, you know, in the room,
Yeah.
because these were climate activists and sustainability experts, and there were some experts on call. So, but given the timeline, and I don't know if anybody had a chance to look at the PDF that's in our packet. Do we want to force Elizabeth to have a committee meeting that really looks at it and crafts the letter and we have a stand on all of this? Or do we just want to not? I mean, you know, so do we want to make more work for committee or?
I mean, that's up to you, I would imagine.
Work for the. I mean, you want to see to take a position.
Yeah, I do. And it would be more stakeholder input into the process. Like prioritizing things, because I'm sort of allergic to bureaucracy. I really don't like to be fettered.
How are we friends?
Yeah.
So we need the city because they have the power, they have the departments, they have the workers and stuff. But when I think of all this stuff, then think of Mayor Bass's plan coming down to the departments, are they bracing it? Do they can't wait to get to stuff? You know, no, I don't think of them as being all excited to get their implementation plan or their draft to get going. And I think they're, you know,
And it's
and come on, you're trying, so they need some people like the people on the call. So I'm
So our time, so this will be our timeline, because Elizabeth's committee doesn't meet again until the second Thursday of February, so we'll agenda to March governing board to some whatever our policy statement is.
Well, that's too
I
late.
did it in March, but
Is that too late?
Are we, yeah, it's supposed to release the final plan by March.
I think I have to have more meetings on there outside of that.
I think I should have a meeting
Sooner than?
soon.
Okay, all right, so we'll try and do it at the February board meeting, we'll try and get something going. And, but again, the disconnect of our policies, I mean, just for example, obviously the city also wants us to electrify our cars, right? But they are allowing, with state laws encouraging it, no parking at the new building. So where are the people with the electric cars gonna charge the cars? And if they don't have a car, this is not a problem. But if they have a car but no parking lot with a charger, what?
Is this part of what they were talking about, like the
They
no
did.
parking requirement or?
No. But the EV is part, they didn't talk about it.
They did talk about increasing non-emission transportation.
Right, but and that's like saying it's a disconnect on a practical.
So I'm hoping they're building buses as much as possible.
Okay,
I
the
think
even
bus-
bigger
bus-
bigger
there's a lot of
disconnect that I
buses,
can
right?
think of is the food scrap issue.
That
Because I believe it was January 1st that we're not supposed to be, I don't know if y'all. knew
January
this.
1st, 2025.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be
year
putting
ago.
food scraps in the garbage anymore. Now, how many
You
of
mean
y'all
yeah.
in the black cans?
Goes
Yeah,
in green.
it's supposed to go in the green cans. Supposedly, and for a while you were supposed to be putting it in a bin and like taking it to a farmer's market. That was terrible. But like nobody thought about the actual rollout of this program and the fact that most people don't have multiple cans. And do you know how much that stinks when you
Yeah.
have it in the house? And just the just the logistics of it, nobody thought about it. And this seems like the kind of plan where we're gonna do all this great stuff and they do not think about if this is executed. So this level, and they just asked
Yeah.
us.
say,
Yeah.
involve us,
A serious talk, because
Oh,
the box office said that they reached out and it's still going to plan, they already have that.
You know, and it's also, and not stakeholder engagement,
Yeah,
like we listen to you.
yeah.
I have a question, actually.
Yes.
You two are the only ones of you and Tia and Teresa who went to that meeting. Would it be possible if you could just, without having a meeting, write the letter and just present it at the next governing board? So like, so we kind of cut out some of the.
They were like 3 of us. So I
So
was trying to find.
Yeah.
Arias,
It's- it-
yeah.
I mean, that's for everyone. I mean, why like schedule time to, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, well, let's just get it to the next board meeting, noting that the February board meeting might be conjunction with the retreat, so then we can't have a lot of board items. So we'll deal with full deal, okay, all right, Caesar, you wanna say item 9, Mr. Winner?
Yeah.
Hi, did you wanna say anything, any update about the traffic safety, Arlington, Jefferson, Adam? Very
Sure.
good.
Very briefly, we're still working on how to make our streets safer, especially Jefferson, Arlington, and Adams. We're trying to be specific and come up with solutions so, we can propose to CD10 and the mayor's office, and hopefully they can be like, yeah, it'll cost as much, and then we can work from there. That's pretty much what we're trying to do.
Thank you. And you're gonna meet with some experts, right?
Right, yeah, we met with Streets for All, and I'm trying to I don't know if you guys noticed the from Western to Vermont, they're doing construction there. I'm trying to email the company or the representative that is doing all that work. Maybe we can work with them and see how they did some of that work.
So the Jefferson Beautiful project, which is east of us.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, exactly, Richard Parks, Redeemer. So, but they have been doing that for many years, and I think they had tens of millions of dollars. But
I wish I was a few trees.
always start with a goal. Okay, charter reform, and that's gonna be so long that we're not gonna. I mean, we'll do it, but. No, I'm just gonna say, I will share this bullet points charter reform memo. I can share it with everybody, but in particular with 5 other people who raised their hands to be on the ad hoc committee. But basically, LANC, which is the Los Angeles Neighborhood Council Coalition, it's another alliance. It's like the Sustainability Alliance, only it's the Los Angeles, just all the neighborhood councils. They have spent a huge amount of time working on recommendations for charter reform, and they're so good that I thought we could just adopt most of them or adapt a few. So one thing, so I'm going to just try and go through real quickly some bullet points. I've got it on share. They're suggesting that since the city is constantly in a budget crisis, it should be a 2-year cycle for budget, not an annual cycle, and more importantly, a transparent negotiations with the city's labor force always, and requiring the CAO to prepare a 4-year budget outlooks that include the anticipated raises, so that we're not always in this crisis. There was very little serious discussion of neighborhood councils and charter, as at the time it was adopted, it was about creating. So need to eliminate the language about creating a and instead put in more of what we've been asking for. Recognize us as elected officials. Our role is to give advice. We need to have codified authority to operate within our lane. I always have trouble mapping things. Neighborhood council should always have the right to speak in the public meetings of the city. And if they have filed a community impact statement, they should be not in the queue of regular public comment, but instead stand alone so that they know they get the time, not based on anybody else. And we have the responsibility to monitor city services. Any department that's issuing regulatory decisions for its approvals should give neighborhood council a minimum of 21 calendar days to weigh in. Sometimes they don't give us a few days, but can't. And then we should be allowed to submit our policy positions like CISs, but to other government bodies. Right now, we're not allowed to unless the city council has created a council file. We can't write letters to the state or to the feds or to even LA County or to agencies unless it's attached to the city council motion, not necessarily their action, but motion. So we should be allowed to comment. This is again mostly from Department of Neighborhood Empowerment needs to be better. That's all I'm saying. Has to be better. Anyway, generally, and the Board of Neighborhood Empowerment, which is called BOM, should have oversight responsibility over the department. Right? And it should be the appeals body for neighborhood councils or board members seeking redress for actions taken by either Dunn or the city clerk for that matter on funding matters. And the number, they're saying the number of commissioners should be increased from 7 to 9, the last two being actually representing the councils and appointed by.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not necessarily doing this. City council needs to update to codify mandatory telephonic public comment. Most working people just can't take a day off at work to go downtown to City Hall just so they get 1 minute if they're lucky to speak. City council members shall actively vote yes, no, or abstain. They need to be visible to the public, not in the back room when they're voting. Can't vote if they're not there. The charter, all of this conversation that they were having all this time, they still haven't actually talked about increasing the size of the council, which was the reason to where the charter started charter.
Yeah, that's.
The first place, yes. Now, Lang said every city council member shall meet with each and see in its district no less than once a year. I think that's a kind of something in the charter. Yeah. Planning department. This was all stuff we would be at. I've been discussing with them, but Lang hadn't thought about planning department. That it should operate with more transparency, preserve the integrity of community plans and community-based planning, ensure professional oversight in planning commissions. Because some of these commissioners just have no planning, land use design, or any, geez, it's all political. All land use applications shall be uploaded to the planning department website for public view. If an application is updated after initial submission, all changes and updates to the project shall also be updated at least 21 days before either hearing or so that the public has the right to see what's going on. This shall apply to discretionary and ministerial land use applications. The purpose would be to let citizens to know what's going on, not necessarily creating more layers of decision making. Just so we know. And neighbor council shall be. We have an agreement with the planning department from 20 years ago that we should receive copies of all land use applications. At the time, they were all discretionary. Now there's all kinds of applications, but it didn't say a difference. So we're saying we still should have copies of everything, because when stakeholders ask us about something we don't know, and okay, update the community plans at least every 20 years. It's reasonable. It takes 10 years to do it, so you can't say every 10 years. So, and then Lang is still recommending this last one that city council members should retain their authority over land decisions. I don't. Other departments, Teresa had discussed with us at some point too long ago that urban forestry should be its own department or bureau with its own professional theater, and instead of being moved from department to department way underneath. That urban forestry is too important. And similarly, there should be a standalone, whether you call it CMO department, climate. CMO is climate agency something. But anyway, it should be standalone. Recreation and parks funding. The seat of neighborhood council is recommending that the city shall establish and maintain a dedicated source of funding for the acquisition, development, maintenance, and improvement of parks. Yes, recreational facilities. And that those already public parks and designated open spaces shall not be sold, leased, or converted to residential or commercial uses without a voting license. And Woodland Hills, I'm not even gonna get into this, but Woodland Hills completely rewrote section 900.
So the section 900.
So there's a section 900. Because it's
And it takes 900 sections to get to the mission of the neighborhood council.
But the point is, this is a lot of crap. The point is this. Apparently, they're putting an early deadline on neighborhood council's abilities to comment on the charter reform. And that deadline might be in about a week and a half. So I'm going to send all of this out to the people who raise their hands. To be, yes, they'll be on the ad hoc committee and to everybody else, because what's the secret? And I'll post it in our agenda packet, but I think we need to approve whatever we're going to say at executive, which is just next week. So a motion here would be to authorize UNNC to prepare a community impact statement for the Charter Reform Commission based on these bullet points, and as will be approved by.
That's motion. I second.
And I'm really sorry it came to me doing all this work, but actually, I think everyone on the ad hoc committee attended. Dunn did host a charter reform commission meeting. I think everybody attended, but we didn't manage to get ourselves again. So we need to.
What is the motion again?
Yeah, we're gonna
Approve UNNC, approve that UNNC file a community impact statement with the Charter Reform Commission based on the bullet points in this letter and to be approved by final. So it means, folks, if anybody else has any ideas about any department, please send them to us. And I will distribute.
Ready? Okay, Candace,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Joshua,
Yeah, abstain.
Joe,
Yes.
Edward,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
I'm a yes, Green,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Siobhan,
Yes.
Sandra, Caesar,
Yes.
Rita,
Yes. Yeah. Just saying we're. Okay, thank you. Next is treasurer's report, Candace, and we have to approve 2 MERs. Oh, I haven't even, almost done. Almost done. We're gonna clap through this. This is
What, 15 more minutes?
not even, we're gonna get out before that.
Really, and it's 8 minutes. Amazing.
Okay, Candace.
What is suggestion, as they could.
Candace.
Yes, okay. This is.
November. You wanna go up to the front?
We can,
So you can see it, yeah?
Okay, Candace.
She's just going up there.
Okay, so this is our MER for November. And scroll down. Let's see. I don't know this. Okay, so in November, our beginning balance was $32,464.73. We spent $460. Like most of that was like office and maintenance stuff, if we could scroll down there. So our public storage, refreshments, and the amount that we paid to the Congress of Neighborhoods to help sponsor that. And then these are the
You wanna see the receipts?
I mean, yeah, but further down are just the receipts that document what we, and the BAC and the receipts for refreshments. And so November was a light month.
Wow.
Because we spent money in October that we already approved on our major event day when we paid for all those things. So November was light. So that is our MER for November. I will upload this tomorrow.
Right, if we have the BAC.
We'll upload tomorrow.
Okay, we have to vote.
So yeah, so I move that we approve the MER for November, where we only spent $460.58.
I second.
I
Right.
third.
I will not note that, but thank you. Candace,
Yes.
Sakura? Yeah. Elizabeth? Hunter?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Joshua?
Abstain.
Sho?
Yep.
Edward?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Kareem?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Siobhan?
Yes.
Sandra?
Yes.
Caesar?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
Then we have to do the December MER. Here we spent a little more. We spent $1,662.50. And then just a little bit about the $2,500 commitment. So there's some administrative stuff we have to do with the family money. But now that I'm a little further in my treasurer deal here, I've learned the secret to set up money that we have allocated so that we don't touch it when it's submitted. So for example, for the events, when you submit event forms, or if we approve an MPG, there is a draft form that will pull that money aside. So if there's anything that we need to work on, as far as the application or, you know, what you're requesting or update those things, your money's not just sitting out there in a pot and then it's like, oh snap, we said we're gonna do this, but now we spent it here. So that's the outstanding portion. So if you ever see any money outstanding, that's probably because I've set up most of it. Some of you that were here last year, remember there was like an avalanche of no's that we got from the city clerk's office. So this year we are well, the rules have changed for a lot of stuff, but also we're working not to have an avalanche of no's. So I'm gonna be using this more to make sure that stuff is in the space and working with Anna so that they don't say no to our stuff. Okay, so this was basically refreshments for the Christmas party, good times. That's also Smart Final, our public storage. I know we talked about finding something less expensive. We won't talk about it now because we're almost out of time. If anybody could find something that's in our footprint that's less, because we are spending a lot of money
For what now?
on the storage space at the public storage.
Well, no, we.
I know,
It's too much than we'd rather.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you feel like you wanna go on a hunt, the rule is it has to be within the footprint. So we'll work on that. And then we got a cake for Jeff's going away party. So that's part of our funds that we spent here, Print Depot to all the events that we're gonna be doing, all of our outreach. So we got some more printables there. And then looks like they didn't cash their check for the neighborhood Congress until, but it was satisfactory. Okay, yeah. So now we see how you don't have anything else things for.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we need to.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I move that we vote for vote to approve the December MER.
I will second that again.
Candace,
Yes.
Mr. Chris,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Hunter.
Yes.
Laura, Joshua.
He's a.
Sorry, abstain. Mouse is frozen.
No, you're good, thank you. Show,
Yes.
Edward.
Yeah.
Michelle. Oh, sorry. Okay,
Thanks.
I'm a yes. Green,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Siobhan,
Yes.
Sandra,
Yes.
Caesar, Rabia.
Yes.
Okay, last thing, I started to kind of do this earlier just to tell you all how much we had in our most popular categories, our MPG category. To date, we have spent about $4,800, and that is on the Korean Fest, the First Jefferson Park Festival, and the money that's set aside for family. So those are the things that we supported through MPG so far, and we have.
We haven't submitted, but we voted to give an MPG to rediscover. That's not.
Well, remember you said there was.
We have to change the date on their application. So we voted to approve.
Okay. What?
You were not present. That was the meeting minutes.
So that was the day that, all right, we'll talk about it. All right, so minus whatever we just said for that, so that's roughly about $6,000. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was 1250, but we'll.
yeah,
Okay.
because I was gonna submit, well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. we'll
Okay,
talk.
and then for outreach now, including the money for the homeless count and the $2,500. We have about $1,105 left, so
If you get the 500 for,
yeah, I got it. Yeah, so if we see fit, this is kind of like maybe next meeting or like March, maybe whenever. If we would like to move some funds from MPG to outreach, we can maybe discuss an executive, and then we'll have a discussion about how much we might want to move in order to push up our outreach funds, because we seem to be doing a lot of outreach, so that's.
All right, well, we're next, yeah, because remember, we are gonna do on June 6th, if that's a Saturday, the emergency preparedness workshop.
Korean is funny. Tentatively.
First Saturday in June.
Okay, so we can move more stuff.
Right, but that won't be a lot of money. That'll be,
Says our request, yeah.
well, it'll be Subway sandwiches, no doubt, coffee.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it in executive, and we'll move some stuff around so that we'll have money to cover all the cool things that we are outreaching.
Okay, so one last thing, well, you're done, well, Laura's done, president's report's over, Michael, you have vice president.
We covered training already at the top,
Right,
so.
so we are at Hunter and minutes.
Really quickly, so December meeting minutes, you just gotta approve them. Do we have to say something?
Oh, I'm sorry, did we, wait, did we do the December email? We did.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I'm asking. Do we need to finish with these? You were saying something.
Well. 7 or 7.
We've never done it before,
I
let's
know.
talk now, right? Let's.
Well, that's such a. And, but
They look
just,
great, I promise.
They're
We'll scroll,
words.
we'll scroll, we can all take a look at them. Incredible.
minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyway, I hope so.
That, everybody got a memo, I think, from Dunn about SB 707. Maybe, I don't think I was the only one, but anyway, there was something buried in the middle of it about every vote had to be by, well, we had to say how people voted. I know, so that would kind of mean we have to do that for, but not tonight.
Everybody approved.
Everybody approved, and he knows who was here.
Mhm.
Okay. And we're done. Adjourned. Oh, wow. Thanks, everybody.